Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. It's that time again, it's 20 May 2021 and the latest patch is out for DCS World Open Beta. That is 2.7.1.6430. Hundreds of things have been changed, updated, fixed and whatnot. And as usual, we are going to try and represent the average player and tell you what you need to know about. Things that are not going to be included in this video are these under the FA-18C, SLAM ER, offset waypoints, raid assessment, and the changes to the lock shoot lines in the SA page. These will be covered in 3 separate videos, videos 1, 2 and 3, which will be linked from the video description of this video you're watching here when I've made them. Everything else here is going to be explained in this video. So, firstly, GM65 Maverick. CWIS cannot destroy Mavericks because GM65 lacks a damage model. Fixed. We're in a Hornet. There is a nasty Oliver has a parry, and we're going to fire a Maverick at it. Maverick, assign soy, slew the camera, onto the boat, press the button, zap zap, watch this. Out goes the CWIS. Just about see my missile there. Get it, boys, get it. Boom! My Maverick's been taken out. SAMs, AI. SAMs do not engage fast aircraft weapons. Fixed. This is a really important one because we put a video out just a few days ago, just purely by bad luck, showing that if we used pre-brief mode with the harms in the Hornet, due to the trajectory they would take and the speed they would get up to, it meant the SA-2 could no longer shoot them down. But now look what happens as of this patch. Air to ground. Arm, pre-brief, arm pull-up, UFC, target, radar, antenna 104, go. That, designate, power on, put the thing between the thing, and you have to get it perfectly accurate like that with the chevrons, I've learnt, so, or been told. Okay, fire that away, let it go and do its pull-up. Now, it's important that I don't disappear now. I need to make sure the radar emits. For the SAM, we're fighting an SA-10, by the way. In fact, why don't we just speed things up because this is a quick video. Here comes the missiles, and if my calculations are correct, and they rarely are, but you never know. Let's see if this gets intercepted. Boom! So now, as of this patch, the pre-briefed fast AGM-88s can be intercepted by SA-10. Aircraft AI. In the case when an active missile is launched in TWS mode or a bug, basically a non-STT, AI aircraft will begin evasive maneuvers only after the missile seeker is turned active now. Now this is a biggie. What we used to have is hostile AI aircraft would start evading as soon as you fired, let's say, an AMRAAM or an ST-10 at them in TWS, even before the missile had gone active. So there was really no way for them to actually know we'd fired, but because they're AI, they just magically know, obviously. You know, a player couldn't possibly know that until the missile was kind of 6 or 7 miles away and it went active. But it would just secretly know and dodge. Now that was just stupid. It was just not realistic, and it made AI completely unrealistic to fight against. Now, watch this. In my Hornet, I've got a JF17 on the nose. He is hot. He's not going to shoot at me, but he is going to dodge if I fire at him. So I'm going to select my AMRAAM. I'm just going to move in a little closer. I'm going to lock him now. And I'm within range. I'm going to fire. Just a quick reminder. We've got this guy here says in 10 seconds the missile will go active. So let's watch for the next 10 seconds and check. Interestingly, he will flare. So that still needs fixing. I mean, sorry. He will chaff. That needs fixing. But look how he's not dodging. So at least he's not dodging. That's 3 seconds till pitbull. 2. The missile's gone active, it's gone pitbull, it's now emitting its radar. He should now know that he's got a missile heading towards him, and of course, he will now dodge. So much more realistic behaviour, though, like we said, probably shouldn't be chaffing, but let me know what you think about that. A vast improvement. Aircraft AI. Canopy visibility geometry corrected. Now MiG-15 doesn't see the enemy on his 6, allowing for a silent attack. We're in a blue Hornet. In front is a red coalition MiG-15 set to veteran AI. Let's see what happens. Behind him. And look, he can't see me. Now this is great because I can get right up like this, just like you would be able to in real life. You know, there's no way, if I can't see him, more or less, you know, his canopy and his eyes, he pretty much can't see me. Look at that. And if one were so inclined, I could select the gun. I could turn master arm on, which may or may not be easy. Where is it? Oh, it's already on. Everything's set up for him to attack me, you know, I'm not cheating in any way. And look. Zap, zap, zap. Ha 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 ha! Stupid AI. That's so much better. Spitfire. New types of ammunition. Here we are in the armament screen of a Spitfire, and look, ammo type. We now have 5 different types of ammo. Armor piercing with tracer. These 4 all have DeWilder, sorry for the pronunciation, DeWild. That means it has an incendiary element, 0.5 grams of SR365, including barium nitrate, which ignites on impact. Ball tracer, armor piercing, no tracer, ball, no tracer, and target practice. AV-8B Harrier, added. Bullseye position can be modified using the EHSD data page. In the Harrier now, we're going to go to our EHSD. We're going to go into data. So, currently we have waypoint, we are there, we have waypoint 1 there, and we have waypoint 2 there on that island. Let's go back to waypoint 1. We currently have balls, we are currently looking at the waypoint. We could also look at our aircraft, or we could look at bullseye. And bullseye is out to the east of the island. What if we wanted to move the bullseye onto waypoint 1 or waypoint 2? We could do that. Bullseye is now on waypoint 1. Bullseye is now on waypoint 2. If we went back to waypoint, we're back to manipulating our waypoints, 2 and 1. And now if we went to bullseye, we could see that bullseye has been moved to waypoint 2. JF17 Thunder. Updated the CM802 AKG cruise missile seeker with the IR image only. If you remember, that used to have the ability to have a TV or an IR image. Now it only has IR image. Next, the terminal seeking of the AIM-120 has changed. So, if you remember, there was a chaff bug. And so they've changed the chaff, the slow-moving targets filtering logic. As well, they've also introduced a ground clutter model. Missile notching now depends on the target to clutter signals ratio. And finally, range of blind velocities depends on geometry of intersection of seeker beam and the ground. If you're used to dealing with this kind of thing, then that will make sense. If it doesn't, then what I will probably do is follow up with a video testing this a bit more thoroughly. But it's not something we can include in this video because it will take a long time to explain, test and show. And just to show that the family of AIM-7 Sparrows, the new ground clutter model is also applied to these. So this should vastly change and make more realistic the interaction between these missiles and the target it's seeking. Next, with the supercarrier, LSO, I know this is written a bit strange, but LSO now, if you pull the throttle back, i.e. you don't go to full mil power, then you will get an EG grade, an E's gun. And this is not a big thing, but I thought we'd look at it anyway because it's interesting learning about it. So, as you know, when you approach the wires, the cables, you should go mil power in case you miss the cables. That allows you to go around without crashing into the sea. Ease guns to land is when a pilot pulls the throttle back in an effort to help set the hook for arrestment. This is a big no-no and results in a stern debrief and probably a mandatory break from flying. And on to the Hornet Lightning T-Pod. The maximum zoom has now been corrected to 3.5 times. 80 FLIR T-Pod. We've had waypoint markers added, you can see with the triangle and 1 it's showing waypoint 1. Personally I actually thought that was in before this patch, but I may be wrong. And we've had a new north arrow symbology here. Remember, that's not showing north position from our aircraft, it's showing the north position or direction from where our T-Pod is pointing on the ground. TDC Cursor added for air-to-ground radar expand mode. We go to our air-to-ground radar, air-to-ground, zoom in here. We're going to apply our TDC to this DDI here by using sensor select switch right to give the diamond here. We now have our TDC throttle designator cursor here, and we can do things like manipulate targets, lock targets and whatnot. Now if we went into an expand mode, let's say going to expand to, and the area I want to expand is, say, I don't know, that island there. Release. Let that populate. We didn't used to have the TDC cursor at this point. We now do, for manipulation. Added new smaller flares. What this means in practice is that chaff we could always have up to 120, but now flares, we can also have up to 120. Added control stick steering mode CSS. And this is really interesting. You all know that to go into autopilot, let's just get out. To go into autopilot, you click there, and then you click on one of these guys. Attitude hold, heading select, barometric altitude hold, or radar altitude hold. Now what we didn't know, or I certainly didn't know, was that if you just pressed on, without pressing any of these, you get a little, try again, there, you get a little guy there saying AP, autopilot, CSS mode is now turned on. And to turn it off, you're going to use your autopilot paddle disengage switch. So paddle, and that turns it off. So what does this actually do? If our roll is less than 5 degrees, then it's going to hold us on our current heading. So on, AP is on, it's holding us at our current heading. Within that heading hold, I can adjust the heading slightly with trim. So trim left, and this is a bit weird, it takes getting used to, and trim right. Don't worry about the pitch up and down too much. And when you take your finger off trim, it then holds that heading. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of modal. Trim right, let go of trim, like that. Within this, we also get some manual control of the pitch as well. You see that's manual control of the pitch. Now, if we go above 5 degrees roll, in fact, I think I've just done it accidentally here, but let me just show you doing it properly. I'm going to paddle here just to turn it off. If we were to go above 5 degrees roll, and 5 degrees roll isn't very much, it's about, I don't know, that or something. So way above 5 degrees roll like that, turn CSS on. Instead of holding the heading, it's now holding the roll attitude. So it's now holding, you know, wings 15 degrees, whatever that is, roller. So that's interesting. Just to reiterate there, without pressing any of these guys, we can use on and off to turn on and off CSS. CSS will hold our heading if roll is less than 5 degrees. If roll is more than 5 degrees, it holds our current roll attitude. While in CSS, we can adjust our azimuth temporarily, if you like, with trim left and trim right. We also can maintain manual control of pitch with manual stick up to a limit. Is it 45 degrees, RC?
Plus or minus 45 degrees.
That's a lot. That's probably more than you're going to go, so you can climb. The only other thing to add is that CSS will also be engaged when some of these other autopilots are used. I don't know which. We're just reading out the manual, basically. And last but not least, combined arms. A whole worlds of new vehicle have been added into the base DCS, and about half of them are controllable directly through combined arms, naval and ground base. And just check this out. We start today with tanker Seawise Giant. It was a ULCC super tanker that was the longest self-propelled ship in history, built by Sumitomo Heavy Industries, Yokosuka, Japan. It possessed the greatest deadweight tonnage ever recorded. And just to show how big this thing is, that is a 80s frigate, that is a patrol boat, and that there is a super carrier, which is pretty much the biggest of the big in terms of naval. So just look at the absolute ridiculous size of that. As well as that, we can operate helicopters and Harriers from it, as I'll show you in a bit. And we can see the absolute ridiculousness of the Seawise Giant there. Absolutely massive. Immediately, like you, I'm eyeing up that and seeing if I can land an F-15 on it, and I don't see any obvious ways to do it. So, next, we've got, nearly as cool, La Combattante 2A. The La Combattante patrol boat was a type of fast attack craft built in France for export 1970s and 80s, showing German flag here. It went through several modifications and was sold to and operated by numerous navies around the world. Note, now this is really interesting and will have implications for harpoon launchers, anti-ship harpoon launchers here, plus a small caliber cannon and medium caliber cannon at the front. So what a beast that's going to be when we put that to war, huh? Can it take on a carrier group? I doubt it. Next, let's go and look at the ground units. First, PT-76. It's a Soviet amphibious light tank from 1951. Next, the AA-7 2-60 firefighter on the Ural 4332. It's a Russian fire truck. The ATZ-5 on a Ural 4320. It's a Russian fuel truck. Note, obviously, that these are all modern, high detailed meshes. This is a funny thing. It's the diesel power station 5i57A, BAZ69092-021 towing vehicle for the 5i57A power generator and the 63T6A power converter for the S400 missile system. So, what does that mean to us? Are we going to get S400 or does it work with S300? We haven't found its use at the moment, but at some point that is going to become useful. The Chieftain Mark III, I know this well as I know anything. British MBT main battle tank from the 70s and 80s. And what a beast and a pretty tank if there's such a thing, I think. Next, the VAB Mephisto. The VAB HOT Mephisto is a wheeled armoured vehicle personnel carrier, VAB fitted with anti-tank missile launcher turret front, and it is a French vehicle. Next, we've got 3 additional Leopards. Leopards is a German main battle tank. We've got the original Leopard there, which had a relatively low fidelity model. I mean, it still looks pretty good, you know, as long as you don't go really close up. But these 4 have been added in extra high fidelity. Let's go through them from left to right. First, the Mark II A4 main battle tank not in service with the Bundeswehr. Next, 2A4TR Turkish main battle tank. Next to the right is the Mark II A5 Bundeswehr and others main battle tank. And on the right, the 2A6M replacing the Leopard 2 as above. Next, a real beast, the SPH T115 Fırtına. T115 Fırtına is a Turkish 155mm self-propelled howitzer. Next, the BM21 MLRS Grad Soviet-mounted 122mm multiple rocket launcher. We're pretty sure this literally replaces an old model with a lovely new high polygon pretty model. As you can see, the graphics are sublime. And as a finishing touch, these ones here are ones that we can drive. So we can get in them and go boom boom. Hello, so you see why it's giant? Oh, I can't fire. Oh, there we go. Oh, what weapon have I got in this thing? Oh, blow me down. Look, it does have a pop-up anti-rocket launcher thingy. Did not see that coming. Did not see that coming. Look at that. Coolest thing you've ever seen. Reloads. Comes back up again.
That's some strong rockets. Look at the damage.
Yeah, I know.
That shit.
We would not have found that unless we were messing around with it. Yeah. Oh, my new favourite vehicle for Hunt the Hill. Very cool. Very cool. I'm not going to go through all the Leopards. I'll just go through one. You know, not really much to... Get some! See why it's giant? Oh look, it went right through the patrol boat. That's so funny. Puniest sounding gun ever. God, I like blowing stuff up. Let's get this son of a gun. Watch this! Hey you! No smoking my bottom! Some joke about you're creating smoke, you're on fire now, blah 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 blah. I like that. I like that a lot. Look at the damage I've done to the Seawise Giant. That did 4% damage.
I can understand coming out of an artillery piece.
Mm-hmm. Und endlich ist BM 21 Grad, which I'm struggling to move. No, there he goes. It's just a little bit slow and old and Russian. A bit like me. Literally won't go where I aim it. Oh, I can only get to the side, that's why. Get some! Get some! Oh, right, I'm going to have to blow the ship up. Don't get stuck in the water. Oh, why does everything I do end in terrible failure? Watch this. Paladin laugh, paladin laugh. Whoops. Oh, I blew myself up. Oh, God, why? No, I'm still going. Get some, baby. See why it's giant? 28% damage. With a Grad. ED are literally writing me bad letters at the moment. They are not happy with that. Not happy with me sinking their... Look at that! I blew it up! I blew it up! Mama, mama, look what I did! Oh, and there's one more thing I've got to do. Spawn in the Harrier. Watch this!
You're not going to be able to, right? Isn't it?
I don't know. Now, a disclaimer. It does usually work. Oh. It does usually work, but not if it turns out... Oh, that's a... I got a firm but fair letter coming from the big W. Oh look, I've on the ocean bottom. That's never happened before. Like I was saying, valued viewers, usually it can take off from the thing. It's just it turns out not when it's on fire. Don't try that. Right. Anyway, we must not delay anymore. I think you'll agree that is a friggin' amazing bunch of stuff added, yo.